shit, let me get down to my thing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to From the Chair, where inclusion matters. Give us just a couple of minutes, and we will be with you live. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to From the Chair. It's going to be a night of fun-filled excitement. Did Mr. Nos go perfect on his WrestleMania pick? And we'll be back shortly. Again, you're watching From the Chair, where inclusion matters. We'll be back in 30 seconds to start the show.
And welcome to post WrestleMania From the Chair. Right away, I'd like to say hello to Megan and our other viewer that are watching. Hope you guys enjoyed WrestleMania. And as Tony said at the beginning, did I go perfect on my picks? Absolutely not.
In fact, he went 500. He went 7 for 7 on his picks. The executive producer, however, fared a whole lot better. I managed to get 10 of the 14 matches right. That's right. I only lost 4 matches total.
Which once again proves, ladies and gentlemen, that he is better than me, and I know it.
It also means what, Mr. Nos?
Well, as we determined on Friday, I will be wearing a dress at the Mariners game in August.
And you know how humiliating this is.
A Mets hat, as agreed
to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
To when we had Vertigo on the podcast, and as agreed to when after talking to CPW referee T-Rex, I will also be saying during the 7th inning stretch, Cubs rule, Mariners rule.
So let's get right into this, Mr. Nos. How does it feel to break even with WrestleMania picks when you darn near went perfect the last pay-per-view?
Well, the thing is, I'm okay with that because to be
Are
able
you
to,
really?
yes, to be able to break even at WrestleMania is actually um, not a bad thing.
Did you remember how many picks I got, Mr. Knopf?
Yes, I do. And again, it's because you're better than me and I know it. Like we've said multiple times. So, um, so let's talk about some of the matches tonight. The first match was Brock Lesnar and with Omos.
Hold on. Let's not get into the WrestleMania card yet. Megan brings up a very interesting point. Let's get into your thoughts on the breaking news on the rumor of the sale of WWE.
Well, thank you for that, Megan. I hope I'm okay with them being bought by UFC. The one thing that I hope doesn't happen is not only do you have to pay for the ESPN Plus, but you have to pay $60 for their pay per views on top of that. So I hope that that doesn't happen because that I that's way too much for me personally to pay, and I'm sure it'd be too much for somebody else to pay also, or a lot of other people to pay also. So what are your
My thoughts on that is at least it's not to the Saudis.
that is true.
I'm much happier with it going to UFC. If we have to pay for pay-per-views, it's going to suck, but at least it stays on American soil.
But you brought up a good point with me earlier. Didn't doesn't have a deal with Peacock?
I thought they had a deal with Peacock and with Fox for the next 8 or 9 years, I thought.
Well, as far as Fox goes, I know that they're getting back into their TV rights because that's why they wanted to get the sale done before they had to renegotiate them. But as far as Peacock, I'm not sure. If any of our viewers out there or anybody that's listening that might the chat right now knows that, please be sure to let us know.
Actually, once Roman Reigns won, I refused to watch the media scrum just because I didn't want to get disbelief, and that's why we have a black screen. This podcast is an official mourning for Cody Rhodes.
Yes, but I think just like Sami Zayn, I was thinking about this. Just like Sami Zayn, I think they're gonna build something for Backlash. Megan, you had sent me a message before we came on that said you thought it was gonna go 1,000 days, which is what Tony had said too, and I actually agree with that. I think that I think that it'll go in. Think the one that'll make the match possibly could be Bad Bunny. I mean, if you go by what happened the last 2 nights with Snoop Dogg being one of the hosts, he was able to put the Miz in a match.
Not once, but twice. And please let's talk about The Miz in his official form on this podcast, The Fizz.
My apologies.
So just to recap for our second viewer that had just hopped on, Nathan Noss finished WrestleMania weekend with a record of 7 wins and 7 losses. And me, I went 10-4.
Yes, and welcome Dakota. And yes, WWE probably will be sold to Endeavor, the parent company of UFC.
And I heard that deal could be done as early as tomorrow.
Yes.
Is plaque psoriasis making you rethink your everyday choices? Otezla is a pill, not a cream or injection, that can help people with plaque psoriasis achieve clearer skin.
And as we were saying, Dakota, I don't have a personally. I don't have a problem with that as long as they don't charge us the extra money for C does for theirs.
So I would like to ask the viewers, what colored dress do you think Mr. Noss should be wearing in August to the said Mariners game that he now has to wear a dress to?
I would actually also like to know that to give me some ideas.
Dakota says green.
Maybe, but then if that's the case, if I hit a camera, would that make me movie?
And the other little caveat in this is we are going to a Mariners game on probably the busiest Mariner weekend this year. That's the Hall of Fame weekend for Felix Hernandez.
Yes.
You just realized that, didn't you, Noss?
No, I knew that. Megan, in the comments.
So moving on, Nathan had brokered a huge deal this afternoon when we came on for our afternoon
Sports talk
with Stanley Stimson. And yes, we might make that a reoccurring thing. Mr. Stanley was pretty good this afternoon, except he did wear a Beavers shirt all the time instead. So maybe next time he'll wear a Mariners shirt or something. But
the Mariners did lose today.
So, do you want to not keep your fans in suspense and tell them what the deal that you brokered is?
Yes, the deal I brokered is, as you see on your screens now, if you're watching the press conference for WWE, we will be doing those starting for Combat Pro Wrestling. So that is very exciting news. Combat Pro Wrestling is theatrical wrestling, and what I mean by that is they don't use a wrestling ring. They actually wrestle on a stage like you would see on a play. So, like I said, this is very exciting. It'll give you guys a chance to get to know a little bit more about their promotion and their stars. And who knows, maybe they're the stars of tomorrow in the WWE.
So I've got a comment from Trey. This cup's for you.
Well, thank you. And yes, Dakota, we all have to love Stanley. So in the first match, I got that one wrong because I thought Omos was going to beat Brock Lesnar. And even during the match multiple times, I thought Omos was going to beat Brock Lesnar.
Like the true loser you are, you went and beat the biggest. You went and chose the biggest man when you should have went with your gut and your brain and went with Brock like everybody else did.
Yeah, I kind of fell in the trap of listening to all like the dirt sheets about the fact that Brock was probably going to leave.
That's your first mistake is you listen to the dirt sheet.
And yes, Dakota, we agree that it's better that it's Endeavor, not Saudi Arabia. I was impressed, however, how good the F5 looked with Omos. Usually, like if you went back to when Big Show or when Brock did that to Big Show kind of fell off to the side where Omos took it like a normal F5. So the next match was the Fatal 4-Way showcase match for the women. I thought that was a really good match. One of the parts that I enjoyed the most was when Chelsea climbed up on the ropes to celebrate when everybody was on the outside, and then she looked back and saw Raquel Rodriguez behind her and decided that the best thing she could do would be to jump.
But again, Nathan, you lost that match.
Yes, I did. Again, by listening
You
to the
fell for the trap that the dirt sheets
dirt sheet.
gave you. You never ever ever listened to dirt sheets. Maybe then you would have went 10-4 today, like I did.
Yes, because I listened to the dirt sheets as you said, and thought that Ronda might have still been hurt. So I thought that diminished the chances of her and Shayna winning, and I was wrong.
Which in fact, if I remember correctly, who won that match? Who?
Well, now that you've done your impersonation of the New Day, it was Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey.
That's not what I asked. I asked who won the match. The said person that you said had a busted arm, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So I think you have the match card there, yes?
Yes, I do actually. I don't think it was until the third match you actually got one correct tonight.
If that's the Gunther Sheamus one, then yes, that's the one I got. The first one I got right.
Then you were actually on a roll. You got the next one after that one too.
Yeah, that was help me out here.
Well, that was 3, so 4 was. I can't remember what the. Oh no, that was 4. So 5 would have been Hell in the Cell.
No, you're forgetting Bianca Belair and Asuka.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of the ones I got wrong because I thought they had so much momentum behind Asuka that they would actually give her the belt. Although I have to admit, I did like Bianca Belair's entrance.
Yeah. You know, and I'm really, the main event was very disappointing. However, one of our guests on the podcast last week actually said Solo Sequoia was going to be the factor in the win and the loss, and he was absolutely correct.
Yes, he was. And then you're right. The next one I did get right because that was the Hell in the Cell, and I said this to you during WrestleMania. Pardon the pun, but that was a hell of a match.
But because I didn't give him points for Gangrel showing up, I can't take points away because he said technically Gangrel would assist Edge in winning the match. So technically that should be a loss because Gangrel didn't interfere, but I'll still give it to him because I didn't give him the extra points if Gangrel showed up. So I was actually being nice.
The move of that match was when Finn climbed up the cage and missed the coup de grace through the table.
Cody Roman at SummerSlam. I'm thinking it's going to be Cody Roman at Backlash and Cody versus Jay at SummerSlam.
I agree. And I think they deepen the split between Jay and Roman at SmackDown on Friday. Wishful thinking because we'll be there. And then we had a return, but I do want to go back for a minute and say how disappointed on another part I was, which is Bobby Lashley. At one point, they had Bobby Lashley bring out the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy, and they went through the whole package of how he won it, and it looked like he was going to walk down to the ring and then start having a match, and then they cut to a thing of up, down, down, previewing the match that we talked about with McIntyre and Sheamus. And then when they came back, that was the match that they did. So to me, what was the point of having Bobby Lashley on the show? You have somebody of that talent and that caliber. You're gonna have him just walk out and hold a trophy? That one didn't make any sense to me either.
But again, that's why you went 7-7. Not WrestleMania didn't have to make sense to you because you're a loser.
Well, that's true, but I mean, I'm saying you could have easily done a Bobby Lashley LA Knight match.
LA Knight, dummy, yeah. Thank you for giving me that prop, by the way.
You're welcome. But getting back to the return I was talking about before I went backwards and talked about Bobby Lashley. Once again, we had Snoop Dogg and The Miz in the ring. And The Miz said he had something to talk to Snoop Dogg about because Snoop Dogg cost him what did he say? It was $10,000 suit?
Yeah, something like that.
Which, to be fair, I saw the suit he was wearing last night, and I find that hard to believe it was $10,000. Then again, I don't own these suits, so maybe it was. So he said he cost him the suit, and then Snoop Dogg said that he was in trouble and pointed towards the ramp, and we got the return of Shane McMahon. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the prodigal son returns. Maybe for one night, maybe longer, who knows. So then Snoop Dogg, just as he did last night, said, let's get a referee in here. And it looked like Miz and Shane were going to have a match. Shane did his jabs, went to do a leapfrog over the Miz, and hurt his leg. And it was actually a legitimate injury, which is what actually looked like on the show too. Uh, and then Snoop, I think, realizing that it was an injury, got into the ring and basically knocked the Miz out with two right hands, and then delivered with to what our friend Sizzle called people's elbow, and covered the Miz and got the pin. So the Miz went 0-2 also on WrestleMania. Um, and then, as Tony said, the main event, which again is probably one of the reasons why his screen is blanked out, was extremely disappointing. Not so much because of the match itself, but because of the ending. Uh, First of all, the entrance made both of us tear up, and the reason is because when Cody came out, he walked to the ringside and picked up his little girl and gave her a hug and a kiss on the cheek and kissed Brandy. Then he walked over to Brody Lee's um, Brody Lee's son, Brody Lee Jr., or -1 for AEW fans, and gave him his weight belt. That one made us both tear up, right, Tony?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a negotiation. Breaking news.
My apologies. So, the match was great. I mean, back and forth. Solo kept getting interfering until he hit Cody with the weight belt. So, but it never showed him taking it away from Brody Lee Jr. So but I guess that's what you would assume happened, or maybe they just had a second one. But when he cracked Cody with the weight belt, the referee threw him out of ringside, and then the Usos got involved later on in the match. Thank you, Dakota, for telling me there was two. I appreciate that. Um, so then later in the match, the Usos got involved, which brought out the new undisputed WWE Tag Team thing, and they brawled. And just as it looked like Cody Rhodes was finally going to accomplish something that his family hadn't accomplished yet, as Tony said earlier, Solo Sikoa came in and hit the Samoan spike, which allowed Roman to hit a double or hit the spear and get the win. In my opinion, I would have went completely the other way because you along with Cody, um, um, how Cody was gonna finally accomplish his goal and he didn't. That's a good point, Dakota. He questioned how, if the referee saw and heard the belt shot, how Roman wasn't disqualified. Unless he was showing leniency to allow there to be a winner and still build the intrigue of maybe the fact that Cody was going to win. Um, Again, though, I think this is the wrong decision. Uh, I guess we'll see what they're going to do, uh, heading into Backlash. Uh, Personally, I would like to see Roman say, I actually have two different scenarios. I would either like to see Roman all by himself, and then that starts a bigger crack in the bloodline because that would take off Solo, or have Roman say that he's beaten everybody in WWE, and they bring in a debuting Jay White, formerly of New Japan. Tony, your thoughts?
No, you're finally going to let me talk, you long-winded.
Well, we knew I was long-winded, so this shouldn't be a surprise.
WrestleMania Night 2 was as advertised, except for the surprise of the Shane McMahon, and then I slipped and fell and twisted my ankle. Yeah, whatever. The prodigal son returns. Big deal. Cody Rhodes, I think, got shafted, but I think there's a bigger plan. At day 1000, Roman Reigns will probably lose his titles. However, I'm excited to announce that while Nathan was long-winded, I have more breaking news. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We brokered a deal for a referee this afternoon. We brokered a deal for a media scrum coverage with a local wrestling company here in Washington State. And I have now brokered a deal for breaking news, May 15th, 6 p.m. with the so-called Queen of Hearts, Scarlet Rose.
That's amazing. From what you found out earlier, she actually has wrestled on some shows with Brian Kendrick, correct?
I believe that's her, yes.
And the only thing that makes me wonder is, what isn't Natalya known as the Queen of Hearts? So it makes me wonder, not trying to be argumentative, but.
And she's going to send us her YouTube page so you can do your due diligence and research.
Alrighty then.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
So we have one viewer. So why don't you give us our your number for, or how about this, since we do grades on here, how about you give us your grade for WrestleMania for either tonight or both nights?
Well, you didn't even grade WrestleMania yet as a whole.
As a whole,
or do you want to go 2 nights? Yeah, go ahead.
I would have said an A if it wasn't for the Cody Rhodes ending.
Well, why does that make or break a pay-per-view? It's wrestling, Nos. Anything's to be expected.
Well, I know, but I think it wouldn't knock it down a lot for me, but I would give it an A- because of.
Well, thank you to our new viewer, TJ Gaming.
Yeah. I agree. It kind of sucks that The Rock didn't show up, especially because he was kind of hitting at it. Okay, so Megan says a 9 for last night and a 7 for tonight. Tony, your thoughts on either a number or a grade? Oh, sorry. like Tony said, thank you, TJ Gaming, for joining us. I enjoyed the Logan Paul match also, especially when Logan Paul accidentally frog splashed his partner. It makes me wonder, though, who Logan Paul's going to wrestle next. I mean, you've had him wrestle Roman, you've had him wrestle Seth. He's already been in a tag match with Rey Mysterio. I mean, do you put him up against Ricochet and some of the magic they had at the Royal Rumble?
Sorry, I was talking to the new possible interview. So Logan Paul was his favorite match. The Logan Paul match was okay. In my personal opinion, Seth Rollins stole the show over Logan Paul, just because I think Logan Paul is, and don't take offense to this, like I feel of MJF. Logan Paul is a pompous ass that doesn't deserve to wrestle.
I can see that point also. And Megan thinks that Logan Paul should wrestle The Rock.
That'd be intriguing. So here's a question for you, Mr. Host, who can't even be over 500 at a pay-per-view. Who does Bad Bunny wrestle at Backlash?
She thought it was Roman. We were talking about Roman. Megan did. Bad Bunny and Dominic Dakota. I could see that. I was gonna say he would join up with the LWO since they kind of already started that at Mania, but I don't know who you would put with the Judgment Day in a 10-man tag.
Well, Dakota agrees with you.
Here, but it's competition, so let's get to it.
Especially because there was a digital exclusive after night one where Ray said that this wasn't over with Dominic. But the question to you guys is, who would you put with the Judgment Day?
As the night goes on, we've had to say goodbye to some notable standouts from the auditions, including Ofer Kablan.
Let's see. Try to think who would fit.
Danny F. Thank you very much. It was wonderful having you. Owen Eckhart. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity and just couldn't be more excited for the future. And Keelan. I'm sorry.
Just a thought, and it'd be a scary combination for the Judgment Day, but here you go. What if you put the Viking Raiders with them?
Ooh. Well, then that would be 6-on-5, wouldn't it? Well, no, it wouldn't.
Well, no, there's
because,
three Judgment Day. There's 3 Judgment Day males, and there's 2, so that's 5. Do your math, Nos. I know you were 7-7 at WrestleMania, but you know, do your math.
Sorry, my math was never my best subject in school.
I guess neither was predicting matches either.
Ouch. Ooh, I like that one from Dakota too, which is Cameron Grimes. Hello, Stanley. How are you?
He found a way to join us after all. Hey Sam,
And
you still in that
Stanley
beaver shirt?
Stanley sent me a message. And Megan says Cody Rhodes. That's interesting.
Nothing surprises me in WWE after tonight. Let me put it to you that way.
Other than trying to figure out why they kept the title on Roman, Stanley, nothing much. And Dakota said the same thing. Cody Rhodes to join the Judgment Day. It's an interesting concept. Like Cody snapped because he couldn't win the title.
Well, you do have to remember Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes do have something in common.
Yeah, they were members of the Bullet Club.
Not just members of the Bullet Club, Nos. Come on.
They were leaders of the Bullet Club.
There you go. Yeah, Dakota did say no.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see that till after I had said something.
But no, if they wanted to do something with Cody and Finn Balor, that'd be the way that they'd do it because.
If you're an undercover agent, you need to be undercover. And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
I just thought of somebody else that could join the Judgment Day, though, who actually aren't doing anything right now, especially because one of the person they were with was is hurt.
So why in the bloody hell would you think?
What if they put the good?
What in the hell would you think the Good Brothers would join the Judgment Day for when they've been feuding with them until AJ got hurt? That makes no sense at all, Nos.
Well, it could for the same reason you just said. They were both members of the Bullet Club.
But they were just feuding. They hate each other. It won't work. Faces and heels, remember?
Look, we've seen people go away or not been on TV and then brought back.
Oh, come on, Nos. You know it's just wishful thinking.
It was just a suggestion.
Don't make me put the host in timeout now.
That's another interesting one from Dakota, though. Cameron Grimes and Braun Breaker.
So the question is, which night does Braun Breaker debut?
Hello, Shane. How are you?
Does he debut Monday or does he debut Friday? And again, selfishly, because we're going, I'd like to see it Friday.
I'd also like to see it Friday, but I'm with Dakota. I think being the big star that they made Braun Breaker in NXT, I think it's going to be on Monday.
So here's another thought that you're probably not thinking about. We're all thinking it's going to be Cody that actually dethrones Roman. What if Braun was sent up to the main roster to dethrone Roman?
Ooh. Interesting.
Again, that's why I know how to pick a card, and you don't.
And that would still fit with the thing of like him saying I beat everybody in WWE.
Well, duh.
But would you do it at Backlash, or would you have him do it when Braun debuts, i.e., like Paige?
You see, again, selfishly, I'd love to see a Braun Breaker versus Cody Rhodes at Backlash. But we all know Roman don't wrestle on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown unless he gets paid. So he doesn't wrestle unless he's on pay-per-views.
That's a valid point. And Shane asked, didn't one of you get the pay-per-view preview?
Yeah. So we're going to recap again for the viewers that have just came on. Well, I think it's just Shane, but it's official, Shane. Nas is wearing a dress to the Mariners game.
And a hat. And the Mets hat.
And a Mets hat. And that terrible, terrible thing he's got to say at Safeco Field.
And at the seventh inning.
Loud enough on the seventh inning stretch for the entire stadium to hear. I don't think there's going to be enough security to get him out of there, to get her out of the building that day.
But you would help me, right, Tony?
I don't know if I'd want to go through that lynch mob, man.
You know what we could do? You know the ramp we took at the last Mariners game? Just give me a giant push. I'll knock them all down like bowling pins.
No, because that's just a major incident report waiting to happen. No, thank you.
So I have to say I'm sorry for the background noise. Everybody's enamored by the fact that my fish had babies. So.
Oh, that's right. He is an official daddy now.
Of 4. We found 3 more today.
Do I think they'll even let Nate in the gate? I don't know. I heard the Mariners don't discriminate, so.
I don't know. I might have to flirt with.
Question is, will they let him out of the gate after he says that about the Mariners?
Bearded man over here too.
That's true.
But, James says no.
But I'll say to everybody in the chat, all 7 of you, which thank you very much. That breaks the record for number of.
That is our highest. That is our highest amount of viewers.
I'll say that I had to wear a dress. I might have to wear a dress, but I'm making that damn thing look good. And yes, there will be pictures.
Lots and lots and lots of pictures. I'll make sure of it.
And possibly a video.
So the question is, Nate, when are you going to start telling people at the Frontier you lost?
Oh, they already know. Okay, Shade thinks I need a rainbow dress. Stanley told me to.
No, Stanley, it's not Nathan. Shut up. Shut up, Nos.
Yes, sir. And Dakota says that's a site he.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle a rainbow dress either on Nathan. You guys got to remember, I'm the one who's got to push him.
Although I do want to get your opinion, Tony. You know the person that we're going up with, right?
Yeah, Les from the Good Times program, of course.
So do you think it'd be a problem if I had you or somebody push me up next to him and I grabbed his hand and I said, "Ladies, I'm with him." Okay. So,
wow. Okay. We lost viewers because of that comment. Good job, Nate.
I'm sorry about that, but Dakota thinks I should wear a red dress.
Only because the Bloodline won.
More looking for the pushing, Shane? Really?
Okay. Anyways, this thing's went way off track tonight.
And you're welcome, mic drop.
And this thing's went way offline tonight.
Yes, and we lost another viewer. Come back!
I mean, we haven't even gotten into the good parts yet. That we brokered 3 deals on WrestleMania Sunday.
Yes, it was a very busy day for us. We brokered 2 of those deals at the exact same time.
I mean, we're getting so big, we have our own calendar book now.
Yes, and a very talented scheduler.
Well, I've taken over on that now. See.
And yes, Shane, if I wore a dress and showed it on the thing, the viewership will fall.
A lot of people's lives are going to be changed just because you.
So, moving on. You know what? I think I'm just gonna pull a Cody Rhodes. Welcome, fans. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, really. I mean, this is awesome though. We haven't had this much comment traffic in a long time. So, and I don't know, Shane, if I'm going to be wearing matching shoes or not. Tony wanted me to wear high heels, but the fact that I'm not touching the ground, that kind of seems redundant.
Come on, no questions? What do you guys want to talk about?
I'm so excited that this last run is over, and I'm so ready to show what all I have to offer and make it further than what I did the first time.
And this is open to anything. It doesn't have to be about WrestleMania.
Get a wig to match your beard. The game that we're going to, Stanley, is over Felix Hernandez weekend. I don't know how many tickets are going to be sold yet or not, but it's through the Good Time program.
Shay wants to talk about me in the dress some more.
I think mentioning Nathan in a dress is what lost our viewership. So no.
No, we went from 7 all the way down to 3.
But hey, okay, if you want to talk about it, that's fine. Maybe he can wear a. Never mind. I was gonna say he could wear a teeny weeny yellow polka dot, but it's a bikini, so I don't want to see him in that. So forget that.
Yeah, Shane, it will be a good time if you go. And yes, and no, Stanley, I'm not wearing a pink dress. I look like a very fat version of a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
You could match your friend Don Callis.
Well, that is true, and we do wish Don Callis a speedy recovery after getting knocked cold by John Moxley and falling on the lighting fixture.
Well, and since you're going that way, we might as well wish Dante Martin and Nick Jackson speedy recoveries also.
Yes, and I hadn't told you this, Tony, because we got busy doing everything else. But I did get a chance to see the video of how Dante Martin broke his ankle.
Wasn't that hellacious?
And there's only one word that I can think of to say that, and that comes from Ron Simmons, a.k.a. Farouk, which is damn.
Wasn't that hellacious? I
Yes.
mean, I don't know. Was that the Zero Fear or was that a mistake power bomb?
No, it looked like it was a Canadian destroyer, a Mexican destroyer, I guess would be the more equivalent thing to it. But it looked like he over rotated off the ladder.
So was it Penta that? So was it Dante that missed the move, or was it Penta?
I I think it was Penta because Penta was controlling the move.
And no, Shane, I'm not going to shave his legs. That's what he's got AIDS for in the nursing home.
Because besides, you don't want to shave these chicken legs.
But yeah, I mean, when I seen that, my first response was, "Ouch."
Yes, and Shane, I'm not making fun of Mexican people. It's actually called the Canadian or the it's called the Canadian destroyer, but Penta's not Canadian. But my question is, when Darius went down, Dante became like uh, one of the top stars in AEW. Do you think that happens with Darius now?
I couldn't tell you honestly. It's really hard to say what's on their mind with
Okay,
that.
we did a lot of predictions for WrestleMania, and rightfully so. But let's do one prediction for Dynamite this week. Do you think FTR is going to lose and leave AEW?
Is that a question to me, or is that a general question?
To anybody. But while we're waiting for the comments, why don't you go ahead and answer that one?
Oh, we lost another viewer.
Come
My
on,
thought
guys.
on that. My
Go
thought
ahead.
on that is, honestly, I'm torn. I really am. I mean, I seen what I seen, but again, it was on the dirt sheet, so I don't know how accurate that is. I mean, we seen a contract on Dax Harwood's desk. It was a WWE contract. But then again, we also heard them come out and say that they don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. They just re-signed long-term deals with AEW. So, with that being said, I'm torn, and I'm actually completely at a debacle. I mean, I want to say no. They're going to stay, but my heart says the Guns are going to find a way to cheat to win, and FTR is probably going to come back to WWE.
Okay, here's how I feel about that. I actually want them to win because I think they'll do better in AEW than they will if they go back to WWE. And the reason I say that is before Vince McMahon became an employee again and started, giving more and more suggestions, I would have said maybe with Triple H that, they had a good chance of maybe doing something. But since it seems like it's kind of reverting back to the way it was before, do they really want to go back to a place where a guy was going to make him look like a Vanilla Ice comedy sketch?
Well, that's true.
wanted to talk to you about. Ma's been feeling a little down lately, so I invited her to play golf with us.
That's very, very true.
Glad to have you along, Sophia. So, Sophia, tell me, have you played much?
Have I played? Have I played? Have I played what?
I don't know if it'd be like vanilla ice cream, Shane, because, vanilla ice cream's kind of played, and FTR is definitely not that.
We want to have a wedding here. There is no more wedding cottage. Where plans change, I'm not interested. The answer's still no. Love happens.
There's nothing wrong.
Oh, sorry, I misread that. Shane likes vanilla ice cream. I thought he was talking about FTR. So I mentioned Jay White earlier. Where do you think he's gonna go? Do you think he still goes to WWE? Because tonight would have been the night to debut him, you would think, and unless, like I said, that they do it on SmackDown.
You sure are stuck on this Jay White debuting in SmackDown in Portland, man. I mean,
again, it's probably more wishful thinking on my behalf.
I don't know. We all thought he was going to go to AEW and he would have shown up at the last AEW pay-per-view. He never did. Then we all thought he was coming to WWE and he was going to show up at WrestleMania, and he never did. I mean, same thing with Cardona and
Myers.
And Myers, thank you. They were supposed to show up and they never did. So those three men are probably the hottest free agents right now in the in the wrestling world, not named Adonis.
Yeah.
I mean, the one current free agent now that everybody should stay away with is, they call me the one.
Yeah, real one.
Certified G. How you doing?
I agree with you 100% on that one. They should stay away from him as long as they can. That you talked about FTR possibly re-signing with AEW, and you and I talked about this during WrestleMania. But the fact that they didn't do anything with Bobby Lashley, and we thought that's where maybe Brian Cage was gonna re-debut in WWE. Do you think he re-signed with AEW or ROH, or?
Well, I mean, we already know that he probably went back to ROH because he won the trios titles with
The Gates of Agony.
With the embassy, yeah.
No, that's fine, Megan. I thought it was a good moment. I mean, it was one of the surprises that Tony Khan, that Nick Khan had talked about on ESPN. Kind of sucks that he got hurt when he tried that the leapfrog, but I don't know if there's anything that's gonna come about it though, or if that was just a one night thing. And apparently Shane likes any wrestler A&W. So apparently he likes root beer.
Raymond invited me out for an intimate dinner. Actually, it'll be the first time
Liz.
we've been anywhere without Mom.
Oh, no. I liked it better your way, Megan. We call him the Fizz.
But I kind of like Liz a little bit better.
But I kind of like Liz a little. I like Liz a lot better.
Well, it's always said he had small balls. Maybe they shriveled up all the way this time. So now that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler won that fatal four-way, do you think that means they're going to go up against Becky Lynch and Lita for the tag titles?
It already said it led to a match for the titles. Same thing for the Profits.
Ooh, that's going to be an interesting match. So the Profits versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
How did you get back from the drugstore so soon? I faked the heart attack to get to the line faster. What's up? Well, we were just going out. Great, I'm stopped. Where are we going?
So now the Omos lost. What do you think's next for him?
They eat snails. Why pay good money for something you can scrape off your shoes? Well, of course, if you'd rather not come, we understand.
That's a good question. Where does Omos go after losing to Brock? That's a very, very, very good question.
Just one more thing. What is it? When we are through with dinner and she begins to pick her teeth.
And the answer to that is, I don't really know.
And maybe our viewers can help me answer this question. Was that Omos's first loss at WrestleMania?
That was his only WrestleMania match.
No, he won the tag titles with AJ in his first.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well then maybe it is.
Dorothy, I have to tell you, not being able to spend any time alone with you is driving me crazy.
Oh, I know. Me too.
What do you say we go away, just the two of us for a few days? I say yes. How about we go to the Bahamas?
All right.
And Megan agrees with you, Tony, that yes, it probably was his first loss at WrestleMania. Yeah, I was just thinking, you don't think Omos turns on MVP, do you?
Absolutely. Omos hates losing.
And let's face it, other than jobbers or multiple enhancement talents, he really hasn't won a lot with MVP.
A wolf in the wild and your dog both share a hunger for meat. So we've added 20% more meat to protein-rich Blue Wilderness. Go wild with Blue Wilderness. Now with 20%.
Go ahead and keep talking and do your podcast, dude. I'm brokering deals.
Who do you guys think's gonna be next to challenge Carmelo Hayes in NXT now that Braun Breaker's going to the main roster? Personally, I think it would be kind of cool if it's maybe Wesley, just because on paper that would be an amazing match. I would have said Tony D'Angelo, but it seems like they're going to keep him as part of the tag team division with Stax for a while. And I was thinking about Theory during WrestleMania, mainly because I talked to our other co-host Tonette earlier about Theory. And I think the next person that should challenge Theory, just because I would like to see Theory kind of try to fight this guy, would be maybe Bronson Reed.
That would be a good pick. That's a very good pick.
And I would actually give Bronson Reed the advantage in that match, honestly.
She knows my goals and can help me reach them with confidence. The markets may fluctuate, but you're still on track.
More than 9 out of 10 clients are likely to recommend us. Ameriprise Financial.
That would be that would be an interesting twist on everything.
And you know who's probably the maddest about Roman winning tonight? It's not just me, and it's not just you, and it's not just the fans out there that were 100% sure that Cody were going to win. I bet you it's USA Network.
Well, yeah, and why would they debut the new wingtip title for Cody and be showing that all over social media if he wasn't?
I know a lot of it doesn't make sense, and that's exactly why I'm kind of struggling with that one. Unless Roman's gonna lose it, like you guys said, at Backlash, but which would be fine. But then if you're gonna have Cody win it at Backlash, why wouldn't you have him win it at WrestleMania, which is arguably a bigger stage?
I've never figured that out. I couldn't tell you either. Except for maybe the they wanted to get to the 1,000 day mark or something,
Yeah.
She's so thrilled about going. How can I tell her that she's not invited? I'm not going on the trip.
So maybe it's that whole thing there is.
It isn't really helping her, Dorothy. She needs to get out there and meet her own friend. I'm not going. She needs it.
Well, Tony, I know you're bummed out about Cody Rhodes, so let me tell you something that should get you a little excited, and it's something that you and I talked about after after Rampage on Friday. It does seem like Matt Hardy is breaking away from Ethan Page, and
Oh, that makes me feel so happy. Oh, he's going to delete Ethan Page. Yes, he is. Delete, 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 delete.
That voice. So how long after he breaks away from Ethan Page, how long do you think before they bring Brother Nero in?
They're going to do the breakaway, and then the very next show they're going to go. You're going to see Matt Hardy point to the Titantron. Brother Nero, I knew you'd come.
Okay, so this might be a lame question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you think Senor Benjamin shows up?
Who knows? That's a good question. Very good question. You're just full of good questions tonight, aren't you?
I'm trying. Uh, so follow up question to that is, what band card are we on?
2,550.
Touche. And all Shane's writing in the comments is delete, delete, delete. You know, I was thinking about the Endeavor, possible, more than likely purchase of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one of the benefits that nobody's mentioned yet is the crossover appeal that they can have with some of the UFC fighters. Because I know there's some UFC fighters like Colby Covington who has shown interest in coming over to WWE, but hadn't done it yet because he was still under contract with the UFC. Thank you for that suggestion, Shane, but I don't think we're going to rename the show The Man Cave.
Known as a loving parent, known for lessons that matter, known for being a free spirit. No one wants to be known for cancer, but a treatment can be. Keytruda is known to treat cancer.
Another one that could possibly come over not if the UFC buys it is Conor McGregor, who I believe just re-signed with the UFC.
If you do not have an abnormal EGFR or ALK gene,
Keytruda can cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of your body during or after treatment. This may be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you have cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, severe
I don't know if that crossover would work. What do you think, Tony? Shane said he likes the crossover to Chicago Fire, Med, and PD.
depending on the type of cancer, Keytruda may be used alone or in combination with other treatments, and is also being studied in hundreds of clinical trials exploring ways to treat.
Although that would be interesting to see Seb Wright and Voight go into a WWE ring and just beat the crap out of somebody. As Tony said, guys, he is one of the guests. He's been brokering deals pretty much all day. Else to add, Tony?
You've just met these people
Okay, there we go. I'm back. Sorry. Can you hear me?
It's all right. Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Sorry, my earpiece went out. Okay. So again, what do you viewers want to talk about? I think it's just Shane online now. So
Yeah, I think so too. So I think we covered everything about WrestleMania that we liked, didn't like, and think what might be happening in the near future.
yes, very much so.
So I don't really have anything else to talk about that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, well, with that being said, then, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic week of wrestling news, wrestling posts. The biggest week of the year is now officially over with WrestleMania ending a couple of hours ago.
Yes.
So on to the next big and adventuresome thing. So why don't you remind the fans exactly what's coming up the next few weeks on From the Chair?
Okay, so let's see, on April. Well, you've got the calendar there too, don't you? Sorry, we've just been booking so many people.
On April 5th, we're supposed to, and you haven't gotten that one yet. So April 5th is not a confirmed date. So
Yeah.
April 16th at 7 p.m., we've got Wesley.
Yes,
You want to
which
give a
I'm
little?
very excited about. He is a Special Olympics athlete who just came back in February from the Jericho cruise. He's also an expert in 1960s wrestling and the Seattle wrestling scene.
On April 23rd, we have wrestling manager extraordinaire, Mr. Tubbs.
Of the WCWC and current manager of the hottest faction in the Pacific Northwest, figuratively and otherwise, Hellbound.
And then on April 29th, we have SOS.
Which I'm very excited about that one. She is our first female guest on this podcast.
And the next two interviews are also going to be female superstars. We have May 8th, Panda.
Yes, very excited about that one also. To showcase an up-and-coming superstar. I believe she's only been in the business for about a year, but from everything I've been hearing, is extremely talented. So looking forward to letting you guys get to know her more.
And one of the deals that we brokered this afternoon on May 15th at 6 p.m., we have Scarlet Rose.
Yes, and like I said a little bit earlier, I believe she was on the show with Brian Kendrick. I'll have more on her probably next podcast when I do a little bit more research.
And then we're going to follow. Yeah, go ahead.
On April 27th,
we've got one before that. On April 26th, we've got Reggie Cassidy. He's a wrestling referee out off the East Coast. His interview will be at 7 p.m. on the 26th.
From
That's
Virginia,
another,
I believe, right?
Yes, from Virginia. And he's another one that we brokered this afternoon. And now finally, the breaking news that we forgot, because there's actually one in April that we're doing for these guys also. And I'll let Nathan tell you about that one.
Yes, and on April 27th, we will be debuting our first press conference for Combat Pro Wrestling.
Are you sure it's the 27th?
Yes.
Is it Thursday night?
Okay, that might be the wrong day. It might be the 29th. I'll let you guys know when I.
Is that? Yeah, we'll have to talk. We'll have to talk offline. Okay. But yeah,
Actually,
I think you're right. It's the 29th.
Yeah, I think it's the 29th. We'll be doing our first press conference for Combat Pro Wrestling. Very, very excited about that and for the opportunity that Combat has provided us. And it'll be one so far of three that we'll be doing as far as press conference goes in the future. I believe that's all we have as far as guests lined up so far.
Yes, CPW on the 29th of April, but we'll have to talk offline, Nathan. 27th of May, and then June 17th from Strawberry Fest will be the CPW press conferences.
Okay. And we want to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, the CARE program, because as we've said before, without that, there wouldn't be this podcast. And if you want it, that stands for community action, reaching everyone. Second is Bruce Nichols Painting. Contact him for all your painting needs and pressure washing needs. And I believe now it's lead removal also. So, man of many talents. And he's also taking bids currently. So, and also Tiffany Dickinson, who's a local author who's written a couple of children's books. One is A Minx Tale, and the other one is called Kaleidoscope. You can find her at Tiffany Dickinson at gmail.com. I have actually heard her read, and she is a phenomenal author, so please go check her out. On that note, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for listening this whole week. And we will see you next time.
We'll see you guys tomorrow night, 6 p.m., live from the chair, where inclusion matters.
Yes.
Good night, y'all. Bang.